Happy Wednesday. That means it's time for your midweek check-in. Um, Having some really good discussions on the discussion board today. I wanted to highlight for everybody a couple of things. First of all, the video that Nichelle posted. It's absolutely heartbreaking video about how young girls actually internalize racism and the white standard of beauty. Um, I encourage you to check it out and share your thoughts also. The other thing that I found fascinating was Dawn's contribution, the article on the blogger Princess had, or the graffiti artist Princess Hajib, who is changing advertisements by covering the women with a headscarf. Um, and I still don't know what to make out of that, but I make of that. But I'd love to invite more conversation on what that art does and says about the role of women both in the West and in Muslim cultures. And I assigned the Joan Scott piece because I do think that, and I think that this class is wonderful, and the textbook is wonderful because so often, especially living in the US, we tend to only think about the US. Like, we forget about the rest of the world. We forget that there are people who are immigrating to France, and that there are other countries in the world where a different set of laws and standards apply. And so I encourage you, when we're thinking about this, to think about the US, but in a global context, and in the context of possibly international law and where we fall in terms of the rest of the world, right? We are one country among many. And I've been sort of pushing that a little bit on the discussion boards. The other thing that I've been pushing you to do on the discussion boards is to refer back to the readings. All right, just to be completely clear, one of the things that I'm looking for in grading you is that you refer to the assigned readings, right? The discussion posts are first and foremost a way that you show me that you have been doing the work. So it's fine to bring in other things, and I think that they're make really rich and interesting discussions. But don't do that at the expense of the readings that I've assigned, right? So for this week, I want to make sure that everyone has really dug into Kimberly Crenshaw's policy report, Joan Scott's introduction to the politics of the veil, as well as Cooper's Black Lives Matter. And I also want to make sure that you're watching the lectures, because that is something that, again, you can bring in when you're discussing in the discussion questions. So when I ask about the Black Lives Matter movement in national politics now, part of what I'm hoping that everyone will see is how civil rights, how from abolition to civil rights, those movements have come into national politics in other time periods. And then, but in general, I want to say that I think we're doing a really good job. I feel like we've caught up, and we're rocking it, and not a moment too soon in this short course, because we're nearing the end. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, the final is posted and there is a chat there. So my talking head explaining it and going through it. I would love to hear from you on what some of your plans are, so that I can help you develop something that you'd be really proud of. But in the short term, the other thing that we really need to tackle is the midterm. Remember, the midterm is due Monday, April 18th, this Monday by 8 p.m. in Dropbox, okay, along with your taxes. And I also wanted to let everyone know that, I work as a writing consultant at the Larimer campus, and you're always welcome to come see me Thursday mornings. But if you can't make it there, I'm also happy to read rough drafts. The only caveat is that I need to receive your rough draft by Friday in order for me to read it and then get it back to you in order for you to do those changes, okay? So if any if anyone wants to send me their essay by Friday, I'm happy to look at it and offer comments and help and feedback and guidance and all of those things. But this is, a fairly creative topic, but kind of a standard academic exercise, an essay with an introduction and conclusion, and referring once again to the assigned reading. So one of the things that I'm grading you on and looking for is that you are referring to the Byrne textbook and to the other readings that I've assigned on D2L. It's fine to bring in extra things if you need to, but you don't need to. The most important thing is that you reference the readings that we have. With that, I think I will leave you. I am gonna be, throughout the course of the next week, adding in more details on the final and helping me out with that. I also posted in the YouTube chat room, because I put up the new chat about a week ago now. I haven't heard from people whether that clarification was helpful. So I'd really love to hear from you, find out what other questions I can answer. So here we go into the home stretch. Midterm, April 18th, this Monday, and then final May, what is it? Beginning of May. So let's get to it, and please email me, contact me if you have questions.